Hey everyone, and welcome to Comic Breakdown. If you haven't, please like and subscribe to the page. And today we are going to be getting into DC Universe Rebirth. We're going to be starting with the one-shot, Chapter 1. So I'm really excited to be getting into this comic. I'm really excited about what Jeff Johns and everybody associated with this comic has done to it. I really think it's a good jumping off point for us to start the DC Universe. For those who haven't really gone into the DC Universe yet, this is going to be a good starting point if you want to pick up and get into DC Comics. So without further ado, let's dive into Chapter 1. So Chapter 1 drops us into some panels with clockwork, a watch. And we have narration about how his father had owned the watch and it had been handed down generation after generation, signifying essentially that every second is a gift. So our narrator is essentially reminiscing about time and how time has been lost to the narrator, to everyone. Gazing upon Earth, the narrator feels as if there's something missing, thinking about how his life had been so amazing. He had met his hero and found hope and inspiration and been part of a legacy, and how it was all ripped away from him. We have the narration hinting towards being outside of reality. So we have a narrator that's essentially telling us that they're living outside of the reality. They've lost time. They've lost people that they loved and cared about. And it's not just one individual, it's a multiple, it's everyone. And then we're brought to Wayne Manor. And we see Batman in front of his computer in the Batcave. And we see the news channel on his screens, and it's talking about how Superman has been declared missing after his confrontation with Darkseid, which was covered in previous comics. And our narrator's talking about Bruce in a way that's essentially saying that Bruce could be the one that helps me. And as we have the narration going along, we have Batman talking to Alfred about the three Jokers. And if you guys know, when Batman sat in the Mobius chair, he asked the Mobius chair what the real name of the Joker was, and the Mobius chair told him that there wasn't one, but there were three Jokers. And so we have Batman essentially trying to figure out what this means. He doesn't understand what it means, but he's intending to find out. And our narration talks about Bruce Wayne in a manner that's he's a problem solver. He fixes things, and if anybody can fix this problem, it would be Bruce Wayne. And then he tells us the moment Darkseid was destroyed, reality flickered, and the door keeping me out cracked open, and after years of trying to get back, I'm finally able to break through. Making direct contact like this could kill me, but I have to try. And so he's trying to break through. He's trying to be able to reach Bruce Wayne. And we see a lightning bolt strike Bruce Wayne's computer. A huge explosion as Batman's thrusted backwards. And we hear a voice call out, "Bruce! Bruce, I need your help!" And then we see our redhead Wally West. And I'm so excited to see him in comics again. And we're seeing Wally West not in his Flash costume, but we're seeing him in his Kid Flash costume. And he's saying, no one remembers that once upon a time I was the Flash too. And then we see Batman calling out, asking if he's Barry. And as Wally West struggles to tell him who he is, trying to tell him that he's younger than he would remember, we all are. And before he can let his name out, Wally West realizes that Batman doesn't remember him and the connection isn't strong enough, and that he's getting reeled back in. As he's getting sucked back in, he's crying out to Bruce to remember the letter. Remember where he got the letter. Remember the letter from your father. And here they're referencing the letter that he got from Thomas Wayne during the events of Flashpoint. If you haven't, definitely check out Flashpoint. It's definitely worth a read. So as Wally's getting sucked through, he just continues to think to himself how his death needs to mean something. He's willing to sacrifice himself. He's willing to die as long as his friends can be saved, as long as he can warn somebody before it's too late. And as we have Wally West going through the Speed Force, tumbling back, he starts to reminisce about his life. The day he first met Barry Allen, the day that he was struck by electricity in Barry Allen's lab, the day that he first had the ring, being trained by Barry, teaming up with the Teen Titans, the day that Barry Alley sacrificed himself in Crisis on Infinite Earths. He keeps remembering all of these memories of his wife, his lightning rod as he calls her, Linda Park, stepping into the Flash's shoes, Barry returning from the Speed Force, and he goes over how Flashpoint had the butterfly effect on the universe, completely rewriting essentially the DC universe. But he also hints that someone outside of time had been watching what happened, watched everything unveil as Barry first created the Flashpoint, and when history's coming back together, they did something to change the way the world was, and essentially they had 10 years taken from them. But Wally informs us this isn't necessarily the result of Flashpoint, but this is the result of somebody else. Somebody else is tampering with time. Somebody else is changing the way the universe was. So the way Barry thought it would be put back together isn't happening, and essentially Wally West has been forgotten about. 10 years has been taken from everyone, and Wally West believes him to be the only one to be able to reach out and let somebody know. So he's trying to find somebody to grab onto, to be able to remember him. And that is where chapter number 1 will end. So let me know what you guys think. I absolutely love it. I think it's phenomenal. I love seeing Kid Flash back in. I'm extremely curious to find out who's been tampering with time, how that affects everything going on, and exactly where the story's gonna go. So yeah, if you guys haven't yet, like and subscribe to the page, because we're gonna have much more DC coming your way. Until the next video.